I never thought much about the house before I moved in. It was just a rental, cheap for its size, tucked away in a quiet neighborhood. Honestly, it seemed perfect, especially for someone like me, recently divorced, looking for a fresh start. I thought this would be a peaceful place to begin again, but I couldn't have been more wrong. The landlord, an old man who barely spoke, handed me the keys with a vague remark. The walls are thin. Sound carries easily. I barely paid attention. It didn't seem like a big deal. At first, everything was fine. I worked from home, kept to myself. Every now and then, I'd hear the TV from the neighbor's place or maybe the distant hum of a lawnmower in the morning. But then, something strange started happening. It started slow, just a weird feeling. Around 2:30 in the morning, every single night, I'd hear it. This soft murmuring, whispers, but not from the neighbor. It wasn't the TV. These weren't voices from outside. It sounded like they were coming from inside the wall, right next to my bed. At first I shrugged it off. Maybe the neighbor had a late-night phone call, or I was just imagining things. But it didn't stop. And it wasn't just random mumbling. It sounded like an actual conversation. Hushed voices, urgent, like they were talking about something important, but I couldn't make out the words. One night, I couldn't take it anymore. I pressed my ear to the wall, straining to hear, and that's when it hit me. A chill ran through me. It wasn't just one voice. There were two, but they weren't having a normal conversation. It was like they were repeating the same words over and over again, almost rehearsed, like they were stuck in some loop. I tried to convince myself it was just some weird sound from the old pipes or something, but then things started to get worse. Little things. At first, it didn't seem like a big deal. My kitchen chair, which I always tucked in before bed, would be pulled out slightly in the morning. My bathroom mirror, it started showing these long streaks, as if someone had dragged their fingers down it. I'd always make sure my bedroom door was locked before bed, but when I'd wake up, it would be slightly open. I knew something was wrong, so I decided to set up my phone to record while I slept. The next morning, my heart was racing as I listened. At first, silence. But then, at exactly 2:30 a.m., I heard it, the murmurs again. But this time, it was clearer. One voice was calm, almost amused. The other, different, hesitant, scared. And then, I heard it. My name. I can't even describe the panic I felt. It was like my blood turned to ice. I didn't waste a second. I grabbed a bag, packed what I could, and drove straight to a motel. I wasn't going back there. I called the landlord, demanding an explanation. He sighed before answering, like he knew this moment was coming. "You heard them, didn't you?" His voice, flat. I froze. "Who are they?" I asked. There was a long pause. Then he said in a voice that sent chills through me, "If I knew, I'd have burned the place down a long time ago." And then he hung up. I didn't go back. I left the key in the mailbox, found another apartment across town, and tried to move on. For a while, I even slept with the TV on, just to drown out the silence. But even then, I still couldn't shake that feeling. Sometimes, in the middle of the night, I wake up with the sense that something is wrong. A chair, not quite where I left it. My bathroom mirror, fogged up, even though I haven't used it. Or maybe, just as I'm drifting off to sleep, I hear the faintest whisper, so soft I can almost convince myself it's in my head. Almost. And every now and then, when I'm starting to forget, I'll get a call from an unknown number. I never answer it. Not anymore. But one night, curiosity got the best of me. I picked up. For a few seconds, nothing, just silence. Then, that voice, low, amused. "You can still hear us, can't you?" And then, the line went dead. Sleep tight, if you can.